Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. It's time to finish Realm Reborn and head into Heavensward. There's going to be a lot of cutscenes tonight. I am absolutely certain of this. But let's go ahead and dive in. All right, stream is live. Everybody ready to go to a ball?
Yes, I've got my fancy dress on.
All right. I was going to make a transmog set, but decided I looked more impressive like this. We've
Wait,
been
wait. We can all improve 1 minute here. There we go. Okay, I seen a bard
Much better.
troop, I guess you could say. There's 8 bards, all with the same first name, Jasmine and something, but yellow, red, and whatnot. And they're all playing. They sounded really good, but they all had this hat on and the same shirt on.
nice.
It was more like the Yoshato's shirt, but anyway, it was kind of cool. I actually sat and listened for 10 minutes. So anyway, I just want to say,
Nice. We've been waiting for you. The celebration is due to begin shortly. I had hoped that we might make our introductions together, but Mistress Momodi just sent out word that you are needed at the quicksand. Oh, we're being summoned elsewhere. That must mean something terrible is going to happen at the ball while we're not there.
right?
We will go on ahead. Pray join us once matters at the quicksand are resolved. Give my regards to Momodi, and let her know that I will call upon her anon. This was the fountain I was talking about last night, KJ.
Oh, guy. Oh, wow. I jumped in one like ka-thunk. Did not sound good.
Make note, Lalafels fall like rocks.
It did sound like that. Yeah.
I appreciate you dropping in on such short notice. I know you've got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with a crystal brave by the name of Aliane, aren't you? Former adventurer? Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came around for a meal not long ago, and before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if the others ended up dragging you to the feast, I was to see to it you I was to see you got it before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of the Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. A short message, I'll grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking those words. Barely touched her food, too. Under our circumstances, I'd have thought the signs of a troubled heart, but something tells me she ain't planning to confess her undying love. Oh, and I didn't mention it last night. I was glad to see that Royaloy, or whatever his name is, was still alive, since I'd figured they'd probably killed him too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The one-eyed guy.
Yeah,
But, I mean, that could be why we're going out here.
true. Or she thinks somebody's trying to kill her.
Oh, that's, yeah. Or she found more out about the laundered money, laundered, whatever.
Indeed. or were about to be assassinated. That's
Oh,
also,
that too.
there's always a distinct possibility of that.
I should put my hat back on.
As you stand upon the platform, your thoughts begin to wander, and all too soon the ghosts of comrades lost and enemies slain begin to fly by your mind's eye in solemn procession. Clearing your head, you scan the horizon but see no sign of Aliane. So that's why there was the long wait there. Oh, there's still destination here. Continue to click it, I guess. Yeah, it says continue waiting. Straining your ears to listen, you hear the chatter of Quiquirin and the buzzing of Cypherids, but no approaching footfall. Sighing, you bow your head, only to notice the vial lying at your feet. Is that you? What brings you out this way? Laurentis. I don't recognize. I recognize that name, but I'm not sure who it is. Lieutenant Aliane? What? No, I haven't seen her about. Had she come this way? Had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths. I must have passed this spot a dozen times. We're on patrol. We're to patrol the city's environs on account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders. You understand. Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be with the other honored guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. Aye, pray return to Ul'dah. If I chance meet the lieutenant, I will tell her you were here.
No, no.
Great, we sealed her death.
Well, I'm not sure if I sealed her death in that I'm pretty sure they were going to kill her anyway. But, yeah.
Or she's already dead.
And what was this vial we picked up?
Oh,
Poison?
Sultan Tree,
Poison, maybe?
hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
He's still up there. I want to go talk to him. Beat him up.
Tell us the truth.
Gods, I envy you. All that food and wine. I cannot think of a man more deserving. Enjoy the feast. You've earned it. Wait, was Laurentis the wood whaler that was a traitor?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Well, I'm not so sure he's a traitor again.
Yeah.
Although he may have just called in saying, "Where's the lieutenant?"
That too.
But he looked sketchy.
He looked
Yes, he
sketchy.
did look
yeah.
very sketchy.
See, the thing is, I don't know if he is, but he was with that one little Lalafell that was talking to the right hand man guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think. I mean, that was a while ago.
True. He's shady, I will say that. I reckon you'd head straight to the feast after meeting with Aliane. What's the matter? No appetite? So she wasn't there, but this was, eh? Let's see. This looks to me like an alchemist's vial, but beyond that, I can't say. Might be best if I hold on to it for safekeeping. Any road, no use worrying about Alliane. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long. And when she does, we'll soon find out what this was all in aid of. Besides, you've got more important things to think about. Would you believe that while you were away, another message arrived for you? Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultana's handmaiden, no less. Seems her grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet you at the royal promenade to escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So, what are you waiting for? Go on then. Go.
I smell framework.
Possibly.
You needn't trouble yourself so.
Your grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your grace is ready, I shall summon the warrior of light.
I am.
Yeah, I still can't decide whether the handmaiden is sketchy or not.
I'll be quiet.
There are not nearly enough chairs at this banquet.
No.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, Antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now. But I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty warrior of light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
He will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required his attention, but it did not sound serious.
Thank you for coming, sir. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it. Or if you are ready, it would be my honor to escort you to Her Grace's chambers forthwith. I believe that might have been this is going to take a while. Yeah. Upon proceeding to the Sultana's bedchamber, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Everybody got their popcorn?
No, dang it.
I got my candy.
I want
That'll do.
some.
Yeah, I got me some Hearth bars and some almond
Enter.
joys.
Your grace, your guest has arrived.
Pray, come in, and take your ease.
I'm not certain, but I think we were disarmed. I didn't see a sword on my hip.
Yeah, my bow was
'Tis
gone.
well that the steps of faith held against the Horde.
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
Such noble words after the fact.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of Her Grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. "'Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one.
I think somebody's going to try to assassinate him.
Very well.
Is aught amiss?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon. You wished a word, Yu Hase?
You may go.
Your Grace.
You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion. I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy.
Just a
You
slight
have seen for
crinkling of the
yourself
brows.
the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence. But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. 'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few. Yet, that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Roban, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me? I am truly grateful. More grateful than I can well express. How much we have both changed since that day we met beneath the Sultan tree. And the days ahead promise to change us further still. I hope that we will recognize ourselves when all of this is over.
Your Grace! Her Grace, the Sultana, is dead. Poison in her wine? You did this!
Spare us your denials! I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance. I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
I'd like to see you try.
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
What is the meaning of this?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away.
You have been a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without Her Grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us, now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. And you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthus. I do begin to see how the ranks of the Immortal Flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, goddamn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in Her Grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
No!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
This man stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul Namo, and as suspected accessories to the crime, all members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
Should you demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison Her Grace was found upon the assassin's person.
How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded Her Grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh, yes. I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands. Now that is truly ridiculous.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead. Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamo. Nanamo. No!
Plainly, the Royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you. It seems only right that you should bury your precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
What rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say Her Grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
You would mock her, then mock her from hell!
What?
Have you lost your mind, General? It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow Syndicate members. You're one of them! You've been in league with the Scions all along!
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Oh, Raban! 7 hells!
Admiral, we must leave.
Ah!
How unlike you, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have. You are not the man you once were, Raban. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, you've become docile. She took the mad bull and cut off his balls, and a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter. Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana? It was me.
You die! I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand. Flee this place. Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go!
Ah, there you are.
Thancred, where have you been?
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation. 'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard, it occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
The careful preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share poor Nanamo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
Where indeed, we may safely assume that our foe is thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ul'dah. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papa Shan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Nanamo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel. It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
The rest of you, go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Crystal Braves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papa Lima!
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now! Find this tunnel of Thancred's.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
Now look what you've done.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Nearing the end of my tether.
This is so stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn. The ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Sorry I dragged you into this, Papalymo.
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last.
Planet Eater!
I was hoping you'd say that.
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Leave us!
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance? Well, this is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
'Tis done! Forgive me, Mitra.
Farewell, Ophelia.
Heidelin, she speaks to me. No. I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me. Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit. You must escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness. Tis the only way.
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others? Damn that man! Teleji played me for a fool! I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
Oh, please be the guy from the beginning.
Well, would you
It
look who it
is.
is? Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway. Let's not dawdle, eh? All aboard! I was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Ul'dah, and likely needed a helping hand getting away. Thinking them ruins would make a fine hiding place, I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were! Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Ha! Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
I had thought to look out for Alize, but would appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
And who might you be, young sir?
Pippin Taralpin, Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Ul'dah. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alfino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified. The blame plainly lies with the monetarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
Was that Pippin, you said? Ain't that the name of General Alden's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Uldar that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
I dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end... "'twas I who needed saving.
Them soldiers will keep searching for a while yet. Reckon we'll take the carriage back towards Ul'dah and get the lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if need be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. Stay strong, friends. The real fight's to come. All right, let's go.
At least that one little bastard got it. Just need to get
Amen
the
to
other.
that.
Need to get the other. I'm kind of wondering where all our assassin friends are, though. Or ninjas.
I was wondering where they were as well. Also, I would like to note that the guy picked us up and carried us to safety, we can see Ul'dah from here. It's right over that hill right there.
You know, I feel like we're not far enough.
We
Oh,
can fly.
oh, and I don't think that the game has ever actually mentioned it, but General Alden is Raban. So this is
That's what I was wondering.
This is Raban's
yeah.
foster son here, apparently.
Oh, okay. All right. I wondered, but I didn't know for sure.
The most unassuming folk can prove to be the greatest allies. That fellow was just but a passing merchant, yet he lent us aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern for his own safety. Though I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, this is not how I envisioned it. Master Alphanode, you must not give in to despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. So as long as you are free, we may set things right. Forgive me, Marshal Tarpon. Alphanode, my boy. Sorry to keep you waiting. Hi, Sid. Sid, what are you doing here? Pulling you out of the fire as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly. Then he is no merchant, but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? I hid the Enterprise but a short distance away. All I need is a destination. You must find a place beyond the reach of both the Monitarists and the Crystal Braves. Gorthus, Ishgard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. That settles it. With me, everyone. Not I fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Ul'dah to the Monitarists and their cronies. You may be certain that they will seek to defame you, both here and in other city-states. But know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and his allies, no matter what the Monitarists claim. Marshal Tarpon, I know not what to say. Ha! Now that Father would labor to believe. Now that Father would labor to believe. But enough talk. You must go, Master Alpha. Your airship awaits. Also, just in case you didn't recognize him, that was the same merchant that dropped us off in Ul'dah in the very beginning.
Yeah, the one with Alphanus and his sister in it.
Yep. Up, up. There is no rest for the righteous. And I actually almost pity Lularito with little barbarian Lalafell there, about to be causing him all kinds of trouble. We should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak with Lord Harshafront. Mayhap he'll know what to do. I did appreciate that despite the fact the graphics did not actually show it, I'm pretty sure Raban cut Teleji in half.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Master Alpha Node told me your tale. It warms my heart that you should turn to me before all others, and I shall endeavor to deserve your trust. Alas, the situation here has grown more complicated in your absence. It would be best if I explained it fully.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The Temple Knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard, and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Ul'dah, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum, I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished. But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The Falling Snows, or some such.
Okay, I like the mockery
any
of
who
the
come
name
here
of our
in search
face.
of you will receive no aid from House Fortom. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor. Agents of Ul'dah will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions. 'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
Oh, and there was a quest line back in ARR that we ignored, basically because it led to very difficult things that we didn't need to do that involved Alpha Node's sister. So she wasn't ignored for all of ARR. We just skipped that. So,
Oh, okay.
of course, we can always go back and do it later if we want. But so yeah. We got the quest when we were level 50. I think most of us probably dropped it just because we had other stuff and our quest logs were full.
I wondered, like, why she dropped off the face of the earth.
Greetings, sir. Shall I show you inside? We're over in the intercessory again, Emo.
I'm here.
No, I only saw KJ and Zora. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I was gonna say she's over there laughing about the sitting and waiting.
Gotcha. Upon proceeding to the intercessory, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. More cutscenes! Yay! Actually, I do like cutscenes. So. Alpha Node, is that really you? So Tartaru survived. Good. I'm so happy that you're. I tried contacting Minfilia and the others, but no one would respond. And then Crystal Braves, our own people, turned on us in the marketplace. Flamen told me to run, and so I did. I ran and I ran until my lungs burned and my feet ached. I lost my way, and then... Fortunately, I had observed some of the Braves behaving suspiciously beforehand. Yes, my mask. It was lost in the struggle. There are ninjas. Pretty, isn't she? Anyway, after Yugiri found me, we traveled to Vesper Bay and met up with Urianger. When we told him what had happened, he used his magics to weave a glamour around the waking sands. From the outside, our old headquarters now looks like an abandoned storehouse. The transformation didn't take long either. Apparently, Urianger started making preparations after the Imperial attack, just in case the Empire ever chose to pay us another visit. Good thinking, eh? Sorry, where was I? Oh, yes. We were waiting there as the waking sands, hoping others would come, but no one else did. My people are searching for the other scions even as we speak, but we've met with no success yet. I had hoped that you might be able to suggest further places to look. But you should know, the Rising Stones did not share the Waking Sands' good fortunes. Only Crystal Braves await you there. Be that as it may, we yet have cause to hope, do we not? If the two of you escaped, it is not impossible that the others could have done so as well. You may have been forsaken by men and women believes true, but rest assured that the people of Domus yet stand with you. We welcome this opportunity to repay our debts, and shall continue our efforts to locate the others and see the scions restored to their rightful place of honor.
"'Tis all my doing. I believed myself the only one who truly understood Eorzea's woes, and look what that arrogance has wrought. I gave commands, influenced governments with my certainty. I treated the Crystal Braves, and even the Scions themselves, as pawns in my great scheme to save the realm. But in my headlong rush into imagined glory, I paid no heed to the ground upon which I trod. The salvation of Eorzea. What was it that I hoped to achieve? Did I believe that I could rid the realm of every danger and difficulty? That I could defeat the Empire and the Ascians, and find homes for every refugee? Oh, yes. I was so very clever. Become a guardian of Eorzea, I implored, and sat back to watch my perfect army cleanse the land of chaos. 'Twas all but a means to feed my own vanity. Only when all is lost do I finally realize the truth.
Oh, Alphino.
So, Master Alphino, are you content to remain a broken blade? Is there no flame hot enough to reforge you? What of the fine companions who yet stand at your side? I dare say the fires of their determination will soon have you slicing the air again with your customary wit.
I hardly deserve such friendship. And besides, where are we to go?
Alphino, if I may? Should this place not serve our purpose, then we shall go to Ishgard. Minfilia told me many times, as long as we stand fast against despair, the beacon of hope will never be lost to sight. Be it in the snow or in the clouds, we few will see that the dawn's light shines again.
You are right, Tataru. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Lord Orchfon. 'Tis true that Eorzea yet has her guardians. The Scions have achieved much, and 'twould be remiss of me to discard it all in a fit of self-pity. Let us then resume our journey, together, one step at a time.
Oh, lovely. Credits again. Oh, and just for the record, basically anybody who has a voice probably has a different voice when we get to Heavensward. So
Oh, goody.
I think it's basically like they didn't pay very much for their voice work in A Realm Reborn, and when things started looking like this game was going to be a success, they paid more money. Of course, I mentioned that because this starts off with all voice actors. So
We can't exit this, can we?
Yeah, you can hit escape.
Did you guys escape?
I did not, but you guys can feel free to. I'm personally debating whether I want to skip it, since I do have my stream rule that I don't skip the credits. But I didn't skip the credits the last time they rolled, so can I skip them this time?
That's a hard one.
Yep.
I see, yeah.
Of course, for now, I'll stay here because I like this song. So. Good news, KJ. Apparently in 915, you will now receive full soul cinders every time you run Torghast, instead of only once a week. So if we haven't managed to get our legendaries by the time 915 comes out, we will get them rather quickly after that.
Zora, did you skip and are you in the cutscenes?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Do
Nope. Just wait. Guys, just wait.
Uh-oh. I'm doing it now.
That sounds like something is coming.
Well, Bulldog gets all ransacked from all the primals that are down there. Because it's not like they have something that can kill them.
Good point. Although I think since our job is saving people from primals, we probably wouldn't revel in that very much.
I am. Bitter old man here.
Well, you do have the demon horns, after all.
Exactly. My left arm, huh?
Yeah.
Also, just for the record, nobody in their right mind would poison somebody and wait around to watch them die.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, the whole thing that the handmaid was right there, points to something.
Yep.
Hurries up and gets a hold of what's his name. Yeah, when Raban killed that dude, I was like, nice.
Indeed. Although I do wonder, during that cutscene, they showed Lolorito walking down the dark hallway, and the handmaiden steps out behind him. What happened there?
You see what happens at the cutscene.
Okay.
I'll be back.
All right.
Oh, it goes right to where you're talking about, Emu.
Are you freaking kidding me? I always suspected. I always had a feeling about that one.
Which one?
You'll see.
I am looking. Which one?
You'll know who I'm talking about. Oh, she said she'd be right back. She can't even hear what I'm saying.
Okay, I just Googled, and apparently the end credits last for an hour and 38 minutes, so I'm skipping this.
Woo.
Good call.
Wait, there's a change scrolling speed. Maybe I can make it faster. It's considerably faster, but I'm not sure how much faster. All right. To the people who made Final Fantasy XIV, thank you. I played the credits the first time. I'm not gonna do it again. I'll do it. I'll do it again when we get to Heavensward and they play the credits there, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna play it there twice as well.
All has been arranged as you desired, my lord.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Google
Got
told me that the final credits are an hour and a half long, so I skipped them.
Oh my goodness.
I was talking because I forgot that you'd left. I was saying I always kind of suspected him, that one.
Are you talking about the Lalafell?
No, that's beyond that. What I'm talking is beyond that.
You did?
Yes, I didn't trust.
Well.
Nabralis is no more.
I know. When everything was going down.
The order was not his to invoke.
Yeah.
His demise was of his own making.
Then I was disappointed that it was.
Yeah, I know.
Nevertheless, it concerns me. They have extinguished that
Well,
which
that
should
turkey.
be rightly eternal.
Yeah.
Mayhap he was not wholly mistaken. Greater haste
But it's
may be
like.
We are of one mind. The northern lands, then? The earth is fertile and the seeds well sown. By my will they shall reap salvation unlike any the world has known. By his will. By his will.
Talk about inside man.
I have answered thy summons, emissary. Speak and make thine intent known. I would speak of fate, Archon. Yours, mine, the fate of this very star.
Thou thinkest sanctuary lieth beyond. Delusion, despair, death. Thou shalt find naught else here.
To preserve Dawn's light, the heroes journeyed north, their hearts filled with hope and their eyes fixed heavensward.
The dawn's light will shine again. So long as we have these specious accusations hanging over us, we will struggle to achieve anything.
And yep, Alpha Node has a new voice.
You must go to Ishgard, as Tataru proposed. I will return to Uldar and set things right.
Pray, do not be so hasty, Master Alphino.
Lord Orchefon.
I've been staring at Alphinoid, forgetting that you guys weren't gonna zone in with me because we're in that place.
Full well do I understand your desire to clear your names. But
So
now
does
is not the
Tataru.
time for drastic action. You yet have
I think
allies
Oshafront
upon
still
whom
has
you
the
can
same
rely.
voice.
There is
Yeah.
no need to act alone.
Although he has a pretty good voice, so.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, of course. Pray forgive my impatience.
I bring tidings. Count Edmont has decreed that the three of you be taken in as wards of House Fortam. Under our patronage, you shall be granted access to the city proper. Pray, consider our manor your new headquarters, from which you may gather information and plan how best to proceed. Needless to say, should any of your missing allies be found, as I am certain they shall, they will of course be welcome to join you there.
You are more than generous, my friend. On behalf of my fellows, I humbly accept your offer of hospitality.
The Count is a good man and just. He will treat you with the kindness and respect that a hero and dear friend deserves.
To Ishgard, then. Together. There we shall carry on the Scion's legacy. There we shall begin anew.
Here, here!
I must go on ahead and speak with the Count. Fear not, however, for everything has been arranged. The sentries at the gates of judgment have been informed of our decision. You need but state your names, and they will allow you to pass. My manservant shall be waiting for you at the city gates, ready to escort you to our manor, where we shall meet again. Until then. Alright, we have now reached Heavensward, so there is one more cinematic to watch. Alright, everybody open up your screen and, well, your menu and say log out. This will return you to the title screen. Once there, click Movies and Title. Are you there?
Which one? Heaven's Ward?
When you click the Heavensward demo and title, yes.
Okay.
I wonder how many people decided I need to play Dragoon after that.
Yeah,
Everyone. cool.
I guess it's one of those moments where they were kind of sorry that they already had Dragoons in the game and couldn't add them as the new class for Heavensward. All right. To the Gates of Judgment we go. Wards of House Fortemp? Ah, yes. You may pass.
Bye-bye flying.
Indeed.
Oh, nice reminder.
And it's actually apparently a little more complicated to unlock in this one, too.
And so they came, at a friend's behest.
I feel like we should probably be carrying Alpha Node and Tartaru. They're a little small for this.
Once celebrated as
Yeah.
saviors of
I
Eorzea,
feel like I should have a coat
brought
on.
low through
Hey,
treachery.
you want to pick me up?
Their names blackened with royal blood. With memories of the lost and dreams of redemption.
Nate Albon.
With hope yet in their hearts, they came. To Ishgard, shining city on the mount, overlooking the dominion of Kurthus. A great and proud nation, devoted to Halone, the Fury, ruled by Thordan VII, Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. The last bastion of the faith, her walls ever bristling with the sworn swords and spears of her 4 high houses. A land that after 1,000 years of war had forgotten what it was to be at peace. Through gates long closed, the warrior of light and his companions passed, entering at last a city whose history was written in blood. In the midst of the Dragonsong War they came, 3 weary travelers whose arrival would set in motion great change. Though none knew then how great.
Greetings. On behalf of House Fortemp, I bid you welcome to Ishgard. My lord humbly requests your presence as his residence in the pillars. If you would all come with me. Well, I guess now we get to roam around and attune Aetherites. Been a while since we've had to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Can't jump off that. Probably wouldn't have been wise anyway. It's a long way down.
It's kind of like ravaged, but it's still quite beautiful. This.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine when Endwalker comes, there will be a lot of people that want to move here.
Okay, did I go up the wrong way?
You just went a different way.
Yeah, you just took a different way.
I didn't miss nothing then.
No.
No. And I like the scale that it's on, too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you may not need a coat, Zora, but you definitely need shoes.
Yeah, these shoes aren't gonna last.
Oh, look. It's a new class, KJ. My prospectometer seems rather fond of you. Let's see, shall we? Odd garb, striking presence. Would I be right in assuming that you were one of those adventurous types? Ah, I thought as much. My prospectometer seldom lies. And let me just say, you have made the right choice in visiting our humble workshop. And welcome to the Skysteel Manufactory, where miracles are born from aether, metal, and imagination. From cannons to ballistas, we develop and manufacture a range of weapons designed for slaying dragon invaders. But we are also accepting students who wish to take up a firearm and learn the techniques of the machinist. What say you? Are you interested in joining us and exploring the machinist discipline? Sure, why not? You are? Well, of course you are. Otherwise, my prospectometer would not have registered your obvious interest. In my excitement, I have neglected to introduce myself. The name is Stefavian de Hallenart. And you are? Well, allow me to welcome you once more to the Skysteel Manufactory. As I mentioned before, it is our charge to develop and manufacture weapons designed for slaying dragon invaders. But pray forget about those tired old inventions. The future lies in machinistry, a technology that weds the genius of Master Garland's Magitech and with traditional aetherology. Every single one of my latest creations employs the principles of this unique discipline. And in the steady hands of a trained machinist, my new inventions are going to alter the very face of warfare. Though I would dearly love to expand upon my revolutionary theories, we should begin by familiarizing you with the tools of the trade, so to speak. Have you time for a brief lesson? Splendid! Now the first thing you must learn is the proper technique for handling a fire. Where in the hell is our master of marksmanship? I swear the man is never about when I need him most. How dreadfully embarrassing. Here I've mercilessly piqued your interest, and now I must ask you to call again at a later convenience. Mayhap the next time you visit, our instructor will deign to put in an appearance. Then we can outfit you with the equipment necessary to learn basic marksmanship. And I might explain to you the particulars of the machinist's profession. I am afraid he's gone for good this time, my lordship. Left a letter of resignation on your workbench and all. Confound the man. We cannot afford to lose such a pivotal employee at this crucial juncture in our growth. Joy, prepare mine accoutrements. I shall drag that scoundrel back by the lapels if need be. But, my lordship, we ain't even sure where to start looking. You make a salient point, my dear. My perspective meter points to the lands of Lenoskia. Ah, yes, I should have realized that he would return to his homeland. Lenoskia, my lordship? Are you sure you want to go there? I hear it's a nasty place where folk will clout you across the face as soon as look at you. Aye, well, I must admit to little familiarity with the environments. Hark! Joy! Prospective meter chirps again. Of course! Our aspiring machinist. We shall have the worldly here act as our guide. For an explorer who has braved the harshest corners of Eorza, the wilds of Lenoskia must be akin to a garden path. Is that not so? Aye, 'tis but a garden path. You see, Joy, my prospective meter never steers me awry. You will consent to guide us there. Then 'tis settled. Joy here, in addition to her loyal service to House Hallianart, is the finest shot in the manufacture. As a novice machinist, I suggest you mark her technique well during our little jaunt to Lenoskia. Speaking of which, we must needs decide upon a somewhat less vague destination. I seem to recall our absent instructor mentioning something about Camp Overlook. Let that be our first port of call. Alright, we can come back to that later. I guess we can't go this way yet.
Denied.
That might be an exit from the city as opposed to going to another part of the city.
Similar to an airstrip landing.
Yeah. Maybe that will be where Sid parks his ship when Sid shows up. Seeing as how he was in the cinematic and everything, he's got to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, we have more vendors.
Yay! Shopping!
Make a note of where we are. Just kidding.
We'll have to go through and see if any of them are selling pets.
Yep.
Yes.
And yes, I almost walked past the Aetherite without noticing, because I saw a shiny blue ball on my map and I didn't know what it was.
It's the materia thingamabobber.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just looking. It looks cool.
No problem. That is a very large cathedral. Or church castle, or whatever. Cathedral.
Yeah, I was going to say cathedral, synagogue.
gosh, it's gonna take forever to get like to where
Used
I know my
to.
way around.
Yeah.
That leads elsewhere. Yeah, but once we have all the Aetherites, I imagine it will be fairly quick to know which one to go to at least.
Make note of mailbox.
Mailbox.
Indeed. I'm walking past the quest, just so we gather Aetherites first.
Wow, this place is huge.
Yep. And there's the airstrip, or the airship landing, it looks like.
Yeah. I think they're all huge. It's just that we don't have as many load screens as we do here.
I'm going to come
Dark,
check.
Spectral, and What's Your Sign? 2 more quests.
Yep.
Per classes.
One of them should be a class. I'm not sure what the other one's going to be. I just want to see what tickets this guy sells us here. The airship is not working right now. Okay.
You would have no flight paths.
Indeed. Although I imagine it's you haven't done the quest yet. You can't leave the city.
You can't go. Excuse me.
Greeting. Oh, okay. This is another class. It's the Astrologian. Greetings and welcome to the Athenium Astrological. Perhaps you were drawn by fate to this place of learning, or perhaps you wish to know more of fate itself. Then you are wise to come hither, for in the stars are written the fates of every woman and man on Hydaelyn. Yes, if you were unaware, the planet is also called Hydaelyn. It was there in the stars that I read a man would call upon the Athenaeum this very day, a man who would play an important role in my own life. Ah, but my apologies. Even the most skilled reader cannot scry a name from the heavens. Would you be so kind as to give me yours, so that I might know who is to be my newest protege? Well, I was not expecting that, but what is a name but an attempt by our begetters to wield power over the lives of their sons and daughters, lives whose paths have already been foretold, in a sense, that is. My name is Joquinard de Durandare, and I am a astrologian of the Holy See. Remember that name, for it shall echo forevermore in the annals of Ishgardian history. Well, it will once I put it there. Once we put it there.
Dark Spectacle, I bet, is Dark Knight.
Yes. Now, where to begin? I suppose I could consult my divining deck for an answer, but that would be too easy now, wouldn't it? Very well. At the beginning it is. Astrology, or the reading of the stars, is a branch of the etherical science which originated in distant Sharland. There have been astrologians in Ishgard for thousands of years, but it wasn't until 3 centuries ago when Ondel the Younger learned that the movement of the stars could also be used to foresee the movements of the Dravanian horde that the field became popular. Since then, what was once a single science is bifurcated into 2 similar yet ultimately different schools of learning: the Sharlan school of astrology and the Ishgardian school. The former placing a focus on tapping celestial aether and transforming it into beneficial magics, or astromancy. The latter is specialized solely in the determining of the actions of our dragon enemies to the north. I am a student of the former, the only student of the former here in Ishgard, and have been actively seeking a partner with whom to conduct my research. Let us just say that my fellow astrologians here have been less than approving of my path. But that is simply because they are afraid of what they do not know. Once they do know of how the Sharlan astrology can benefit the sea and its soldiers, they will feel foolish for ever having doubted me. Us. You will be joining me, will you you not? Walking the path that has been laid out before you, instead of stubbornly denying your fate, postponing the inevitable. I see you wasted no time in making your decision. Like I always say, the stars are never wrong. Alas, even a lifetime of study and training cannot unlock all the secrets written in those stars. Myself, I have been a student of the astromantic arts for more summers than I can count, and I still often misread the signs shown to me in the skies, though my readings are far more accurate now than they were when I attended the Athenaeum in Charlia. No, not the Charlia, mind you, the colony that once thrived in the Trevanian hinterlands. I can recall my time there like it was but yesterday. The first 6 moons, I was not even allowed to touch the deck of 60, let alone conduct a reading with the major arcana. Most of the time we spent in the scriptorium transcribing old tomes on astrological fundamentals, such as the 6 elemental houses: divine duplicity, class triplicity, house modality, and polarity, dignity versus detriment. I abhorred the task and would tirelessly pester my instructors as to when I might actually be granted the opportunity to weave a spell or perform a reading. It wasn't until the end of the 6th moon that I realized all that transcribing had prepared me with the essentials that I would need to do those very things. The positions of the celestial bodies within the 6 elemental houses and the relation to the major and minor arcana of the deck of 60, therein lie the secrets to tapping the etherical power locked in the heavens. And soon, you too will become privy to these secrets. But not this day. No, I would not have you transcribe musty tomes like I was once forced to. No, the task I have for you is much more interesting. You see, I am expected the arrival of a very important guest, my old mentor from the Studium, who has agreed to make the journey from the old world to Ishgard and speak with the Holy See regarding the implementation of Charlan astrological techniques in city-state defense. Alas, the professor and his party are now a full 7 days late in arriving, and I have begun to worry for their safety. I should be obliged, therefore, if you would inquire of the astrologians here in the Athenaeum if they have heard aught.
How come he doesn't use his cards to find out where they're at?
I don't think he's very good at this.
Oh. And yet he wants to train me?
Why would Lord Jacquinard think I had information on the whereabouts of a handful of unbelievers from across the blood-brine sea? I am an astrologian, not a fortune teller. I cannot simply look to the stars and scry the location of the Viscount's guests, unless his guests are dragons, that is. I suppose if anyone knew aught, it would be the observatorium. We here at the Athenaeum are but students dedicated to research. Those with any influence in our field are assigned to the astroscope. Let me guess. The good Lord Jacquinard has said he saw you in a vision and that the stars told him that you were to study Charlian astrology with him. Am I close? You must be the 100th of his little pets to pester me this week alone. I harbor no ill will toward ignorant unbelievers unlucky enough to find themselves caught up in talk of stars and fortunes, but you may tell that sorry excuse for an astrologian for the upteenth time that I have heard naught concerning his imaginary friends from faraway Charlian. Just do not tell the Viscount I called him a sorry excuse for an astrologian, all right? Jacquinard is still waiting for word of his missing Charlians instead of actually making an effort to find them, is he? Of course he is. Is it any wonder that in the nearly 15 years since his return from Charlian, his skills in astromancy has remained unchanged? Any word that he has never yet managed to convince a single peer of the value of Charlian school? He is a privileged little sprat who spends his more time gazing at the stars in young maidens' eyes than actually trying to read the ones above his head. All right. You tell the poor man I just returned from the observatorium, and one night at the communal feasting hall happened to overhear Chief Astrologian Forlamort speaking with one of his aides regarding Charlian. He was visibly upset, and I wasn't about to risk my career over something I care little about, so I merely put my head down and ate my beef soup. But, but that is all I know, and you did not hear it from me. Master Fultomort, and I thought this day could not get any worse. Ah, oh no. I'm not suggesting that meeting you in any way has been unfortunate. It is just that, it may not be in our best interest to be seen together as of yet. There are certain people in the sea who do not approve of my studies. Couple that with the fact that you are an outsider and an unbeliever, and, well, people may come to the wrong conclusions. We must act with caution. Until we can prove our intentions are just and for the good of all Ishgard. So I must ask you travel to the observatorium alone and meet me there.
Did we already get this one?
I believe so. After witnessing a spectacle like that, every day life seems rather dull in comparison. So you didn't see the trial earlier? Ah, you're lost. Fury take me, the way that heretic swung that slab of iron he called a sword was a sight to behold. He couldn't have carried a shield if he'd wanted to. The blade was so big. Had to keep two hands on it at all times. I was amazed he managed to keep up with the Temple Knight for as long as he did. Fought like a demon from the deepest pits of the seventh hell, bellowing threats and working his arts. I wasn't sure what to make of it at first, but then I heard somebody say he must be a dark knight. But you didn't hear that from me, eh? In fact, I'm sure I don't know anything about it. Now, you have said too much. Speak. Ye gods, are you mad? We're standing outside the bloody tribunal. Fine, fine, but keep quiet and listen well, because I'm only going to say this once. So, as I was saying, the heretic was fighting like a man possessed. Even after he took several wounds, he showed no sign of pain, though there was no mistaking the blood. As the fight wore on, it began to soak through his armor, spreading to every ilm of his body. But when it began to rise and envelop him as a mist, I realized it wasn't blood, but something dark and twisted. But the righteous are not so easily cowed. Alone be praised, I screamed myself hoarse when that Temple Knight slipped past his guard and ran him through. Good riddance, I say. Man was not meant to wield such arts. And I wonder, was he truly one of those? Well, it matters not. I heard the Temple Knights talking of dumping his corpse in the broom. By sunrise, it'll be stripped bare and tossed over the walls. It will be as though he never was, and as though we never had this conversation. Alright, eventually I will figure out how to get to the center of the city. I guess maybe we have to go up. Aha! You have attuned yourself to all Aethernet shards in Ishgard. The Gates of Judgment are now accessible as an Aethernet destination. The Warrior of Light and his brave companions, walking the streets of Ishgard at last. What a glorious sight. I cannot tell you how long I have waited for this day. Allow me to present you to okay, I need to start this sentence. Allow me to present to you my family home, for 10th Manor. I should like nothing more than to show you around, but everyone is gathered to receive you. Come, my friends. Introductions must be made.
My lord, I have returned with the Scions.
I hope your journey was not too taxing. I, Count Edmond de Fortomp, do bid you welcome. As wards of House Fortomp, you shall be afforded every courtesy. My home is your home.
My companions and I are deeply honored, Count Fortomp.
The honor is mine, Master Alphino. Consider it an expression of our gratitude for your service to Ishgard.
Forgive me, my lord, but are you not concerned? To accept foreign guests at such a juncture, especially ones with our reputation.
Do not worry yourself on my account. 'Tis true that Ishgard's first thought has ever been the war effort, hence the closing of our borders, yet it is in troubled times most of all that men should seek allies. Don't you think? Granted, my decision will have raised eyebrows in the vault and in the halls of the other high houses. But so long as you continue with your altruistic endeavors, I doubt my honored peers will feel moved to voice their concerns.
Then there is naught to fear. Though our numbers are much reduced, we are no less determined to carry on our work.
Full glad am I to hear it. But before you return to your labors, why not take a tour of the city? You would do well, I think, to acquaint yourselves with your new surroundings. After all, you may be here for some time.
Though our friends in House Fortomp have been generous enough to extend us their protection, we must take care not to impose too much on their hospitality. It is only proper that we learn about our new home, so that we might become more self-sufficient. It'll take a while to learn the lay of the land, but learn it we must. Then there's the markets and the taverns. We'll need to know where to shop and where to hear small talk. Would seem a tour of the city is indeed in order. I thank you for your counsel, my lord. My companions and I shall, of course, do as you suggest. Very good. Then my manservant shall accompany you. He will be able to answer any questions you may have. Ah, but I grow forgetful in my dotage. There is something I must give you ere we part. Their documentation is in order, I trust. Yes, my lord. These documents identify you as wards of House Fortin. Given that our borders have remained closed for decades, many of my countrymen are unaccustomed to treating with foreigners. Should anyone happen to question your presence here, it may prove necessary to remind them that you remain under the protection of House Fortin. But let us hope it shall not come to that. Rest assured that we shall do our utmost to avoid any situation which might compel us to invoke your name. The city awaits. Let's go. As this is your first time in our fair city, pray permit me to show you to the Hoplon, from whence we may gaze upon the splendor of the Holy Vault. Though all other sights pale in comparison, it is only meet that you see it first. I shall then show you around the glazed crozier, or the jeweled crozier, I don't know where I got the word glazed from, where you may purchase all manner of goods and services before descending to Foundations. To Foundation's Aetheryte Plaza, if there are no questions. The Hoplon, so named for the bronze great shield borne by our nation's patron deity, is the largest plaza in Ishgard. The magnificent cathedral to the north is, of course, the Holy Vault. The vault is both Ishgard's seat of government and the residence of the Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. Begging your pardon, the statues to the south, are they perchance Thornton's famed Knights 12? Very good, Master Alphinaud. They are the fathers of Ishgard, the brave knights who joined with King Thordan I to put down Nidhogg and found this great nation. Ours is a city rich in history and tradition, and there is much you can learn by exploring the pillars, time permitting, of course. Now then, if you would follow me to the jeweled crozier, I shall introduce you to Mistress Eliaise, our mistress of the markets. Well, you're clearly not locals or traveling peddlers, which makes you all... Ah, wards of House Fortin. How very interesting. Count Edmond has granted us leave to remain in Ishgard for as long as we wish, which may be some time. Accordingly, we will have need of sundry goods, hence our desire to make your acquaintance. That is, of course, assuming you are content to accept the custom of foreigners, should you be uncomfortable. Young sir, we do not discriminate in matters of money. If you have coin to spend, who are we to refuse it? Weapons, armor, accoutrements, instruments, medicines, materials, whatever you desire, it can be found in the crozier. Our merchants will be more than happy to accommodate you, and you shall soon see. As you shall soon see. Our next destination is the Aetherite Plaza in Foundation. If everyone is ready. And here we have Foundation's Aetherite Plaza. If you have yet to attune the Aetherite, it would be wise to do so now. Were all of the rewards listed as high quality for y'all as well?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, 115 items, but
Well, yeah, but they were still high quality, though.
yeah.
As for our next destination, mayhap we should decide together what else can be found nearby. Don't interrupt the tour guide, Alphanode. The Sky Steel Manufactory stands to the west. There our engineers conceive and manufacture weapons for use against the dragons. The holy stables, where chocobos are trained for war, also lie in that direction. To the north and east can be found the congregation of our knights most heavenly, while to the south and east, well, it would be best if you avoided that area. And why is that? I fear our knights may not be able to ensure your safety in the lowest levels, Master Alphanode. Hold your nose when you pass the broom, little lord. A delicate flower like you is like to wilt in our fumes. You misjudge me, sir, for I am no lord, but a humble traveler. Oh, come to see the sights, have you? Take a turn down the Hoplon and gulp at the statues. Well, if you've a mind to learn how the better half live, come and have a drink at the Forgotten Knight, if your nursemaid'll let you. My humblest apologies, Master Alphanode. Pray pay the drunken lout no mind. Oh, but I must. It would not do to refuse such a heartfelt invitation. Yes, I simply must see this Forgotten Knight for myself. I trust you see the wisdom in this. There are few sources of information more abundant than a bustling local hostelry. Not that I expect to hear any news of our missing comrades just yet. Nevertheless, who can say what we might learn of recent events? Then I'm coming too. I wouldn't expect to find much news in the tavern of a city that's gates are locked.
No.
Well, you always got the dark, shady kind that go in and out that down
They
there.
probably, yeah, they probably can get in and out.
True.
Probably regulars over there at Rising Stone or whatever we got kicked out of.
guess this is the Dark Knight quest. That's more than far enough for charity. They'll take care of the rest. And mayhaps sooner rather than later. Come on. Just gonna dump the guy's corpse on against a wall. Is this it? Is this all that awaits? No. No more. Enough. Open your eyes. Look. You see now? I've been waiting for you to open your eyes. You alright? You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Name's Frey, by the way. And no, I'm not a heretic. Try convincing a temple knight drunk on authority of that, eh? Shame the pompous arse got the better of me. But how about you? You touched it, yes. That couldn't have felt good. A voice, eh? And a rather distressed one besides. Please, someone, anyone. Not so fast. We need to talk about what's happening to you, what's growing within you, before you get carried away. There's a darkness within us all. Nothing dangerous, mind. In fact, it's quite healthy. But the crystal changes you, gives you the power to channel it. Do it without proper training, however, and, well, it might hurt.
Red eyes look kind of comical.
Indeed. So, go ahead. Ask me to teach you. Ask me to instruct you in the ways of the Dark Knights, and I will. I know you're still worried about that screaming woman, so I'll keep this brief. And I skipped the next line. The law of the land, the authority of a name, those are tools cowards use to escape harm. We have no need of shields, figurative or literal. Here, my blade is your blade, my soul crystal your crystal. Go on, take them. You'll need them soon enough. And Dark Knight seems to start at level 30. Yep, this was not the correct direction. There must be a door somewhere that I'm just not seeing. Nope, not that. I'll check up here. You guys look around down there. I think it's up here. Yeah. KJ, have you made your way over here yet?
I thought, there you are. Okay. I was like, yeah, I think I'm on my way, but then I lost you.
I must say this is rather unusual. Not just one, but a whole party of fresh new faces in my tavern. We but recently arrived in Ishgard and are eager to acquaint ourselves with our more notable establishments. Master Gibberlant. Just Gibberlant will do. And I'm flattered that you think so highly of my establishment. Can't promise it'll live up to your expectations, but if it's decent food and drink you're after, you could do much worse. Judging by the number of customers I see, I suspect your fare is rather more than decent. Speaking of your clientele, I could not help but note the difference between those who frequent the upper and lower floors. Spotted that, did you? Aye. Up here you'll find peddlers, porters, off-duty knights, and so forth, dropping in on their way to and from elsewhere. Regulars, maybe, but not locals. Folks from the Broom, they tend to congregate downstairs, where we offer a menu more suited to their tastes. Cheaper meals, stronger spirits, all quality mind, but not the sort of stuff I'd recommend to yourselves. You speak of the lowest levels, yes. Why do you call them the Broom, if I may ask? Because when the weather's foul and the broom rolls in thick, it's the poor sods living at the bottom who have to deal with it. I see. And it's not just the weather. When the wyverns broke through the wards and started tearing up the city, it was the broom that got the worst of it. When the pillars enjoyed the protection of the high houses and the temple knights. More than a few people are still sore on about that mine, which is why, considering your present company, I'd recommend you keep your wits about you if you mean to go below. And something sharp in your boot, just to be sure. I shall take your words to heart, sir. Master Alphanode, it would be best if we returned to Fortemps Manor. You're going ahead without me. I'm staying for a drink or two. Miss Totteru, I'm afraid that is out of the question. My lord the Count would never forgive me if I abandoned one of his charges in such a place. Least of all, a maiden. What are you up to, Tartaru? Look around, Alphanode. This tavern's full of people whose business regularly takes them beyond the gates of judgment. With friends like that, I could practically live here and wait for the newest gossip to come to me. Indeed, but will you be safe here on your own? Oh, please. Do you know how often I worked after the Waking Sands and the Rising Stones by myself? If I had a gill for every unwelcome caller I've driven away, I'd be rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'll be fine. Not that I doubt the lady's knack for fending off unwanted advances, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody lay an unwelcome hand on a patron in my establishment. That settles it then. Tartaru shall return to the manor for now. Contact me by link pearl if you require assistance. I will.
Those link for pearls, they're kind of fickle, if you ask me.
There's many a time they could have used them.
Right?
Yes. Pray return to the Waking Sands. Pray return to the Waking Sands. Pray return to the Waking Sands.
They could have just linked or pearled us. I mean, come on.
Well, they were already doing the link pearl to tell us to return.
Yeah, you could have told me over the link pearl.
Okay, where'd you guys go?
Outside. The tribunal, I think? That was incorrect.
Okay.
Oh, that was incorrect.
Yeah, the last vigil is actually where we want to go. I was expecting the pillars or the architects, but no.
You have to speak to the gatekeeper.
You shall not pass.
Shall I show you inside the manor? Tell us then, Master Alphanode. Does Ishgard meet with your expectations? That which I imagine pales in comparison to the reality. I feel the weight of 1,000 years of history with every step I took. And when those steps took me past the scars left by the wyverns and Foundation, I understood how easily that history could end in tragedy. The attack was devastating, the casualties unspeakable. The wyverns did not discriminate. Unarmed men and women, even children were given no quarter. Sir Imeric has ordered his knights to strengthen our defenses, and each house has been called upon to lend what support it can. There is much to be done, yet, alas, able-bodied men and women are in short supply. Mayhap we could be of assistance, my lord. After all you have done for us, we would welcome any opportunity to repay your kindness. That is a most generous offer, Master Alphanode. You are guests in my home, to whom I have extended my hospitality without obligation, let or lien. Nevertheless, Ishgard's need is great, and if you are willing to aid our cause, I cannot well refuse. Good. What do you ask of us? From what I have heard, you are an intelligent and persuasive young man. Such qualities may prove useful to us in our efforts to secure provisions from foreign sources, identifying trustworthy suppliers, brokering contracts, and so on. As for you, I could ask for no one better than a storied veteran such as yourself, a man with the capacity to act swiftly and decisively when needed, to aid Artoriel and Emanalarian and Emanalaine in their duties. I beg your pardon. I am more than capable of carrying out my duty by myself. I have no need of our honored guest's assistance. Now, be reasonable, brother. What manner of fool would say no when a famous hero offered to do his work? Hold your tongues. By the Fury, the two of you will conduct yourselves with dignity befitting your station, and show him the respect he deserves. This is the man who slew Gaius von Belsar, and some half-dozen primals besides. He is not here to steal your glory or serve as your errand boy. If you could pardon them their impropriety, I should be much obliged if you would lend my sons a helping hand. My thanks. Fury willing, they may even learn something from you. Note he doesn't need that cane to walk. I think that cane might have been a behave yourself stick.
Mm-hmm.
Straighten up them boys.
'Twould seem we shall not want for employment over the coming days, though that was never in doubt. Our host's initial reluctance to accept our offer of aid was solely for appearance's sake. In truth, he is glad this opportunity to put us to work. By granting us patronage, House Fortemps has taken a tremendous risk. Until we demonstrate our worth to Ishgard at large, the Count will face considerable opposition from his peers in matters great and small. And so he would have us publicly serve Ishgard, while simultaneously keeping his sons in check. 'Tis an arrangement we may benefit from in unexpected ways. My own duties may feasibly bring me into contact with people who know something of our missing comrades. And as you go about helping our two lords and their various responsibilities, you will inevitably make new acquaintances in Ishgard, mayhap even new allies. Yes, the more I think on it, the more confident I am that by furthering their goals, we shall further our own. Okay, I will not ever wear this hat. Ever.
No, honestly.
What?
Really.
Alright, I'm speaking to Artoriel first. Let us begin anew. I am Sir Artoriel de Fortemps, eldest son of Count Edmond de Fortemps. You will forgive me my outburst, I hope. I meant no disrespect. I merely consider myself equal to the duties entrusted to me, unlike some. Hochefront has spoken of you often. If you are even half the man he claims, I shall be glad to have you at my side. To the matter at hand, we will be assisting my esteemed compatriots, the houses of Durandare and Zamael. You are aware of our friendly rivalry, I take it. Well, suffice it to say, the prospect of assisting said houses does not fill me with joy. However, it is the will of the Holy See that we set aside our differences at this crucial juncture. But we shall speak more of that anon. First, we must needs secure transport to Falcon's Nest. Let us make for the Chocobo stables and foundation. Shall we be off then, old boy? Ah, but where are my manners? Emmalien de Fortemps, second son of Count Edmond de Fortemps, true-born, that is. Yes, I know what you're thinking, and you are absolutely right. What ill fortune to be born second in a society where the eldest inherits all. Oh, my brother would never cut me off, 'tis true. But who could be satisfied subsisting on a meager allowance, forever overshadowed by his sibling? Not I, old boy, not I. Which is why I need your help, to ensure that this business in the Sea of Clouds goes swimmingly, so that the tales of my deeds can win me a place in the people's hearts, or better yet, raise me higher in their estimations than Artoriel. Ambitious, I grant you, but then I do have a legendary hero to do my bidding. Oh, don't look at me that way. I jest. Anyway, we are to aid the good men and women of House Hallionart. They have ever been steadfast friends to our house, though they've fallen on hard times since the calamity. Poor blighters. As for what precisely we will be doing, well, what fun would it be if I told you everything in advance? Just come along with me to the airship landing, and we will take an airship to Camp Cloudtop. Oh, and I have just noticed that I have a class quest available. So you guys might have one too, except maybe Zora, because I want to say you actually had a level 50 quest after we did something. I don't know.
Yeah, as soon as we hit Ishgard, I had a class quest. So I have tons to make up.
Gotcha. Of course, my quest is back in Ul'dah, so I won't be doing that right now.
Yeah, mine's in Redania.
Okay, where do you find that?
In the upper left corner where you have Onwards and Upwards, our main scenario quest. Right below that, you have a name with a little orange exclamation point next to it.
On the road again, yes.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. I don't actually know if it matters which of these two we do first. Do we want to do onwards and upwards, or do we want to do over the wall?
It doesn't matter to me. Which one's closest, I guess?
They're both basically the same distance. One of them's over in the market area, and the other one is at the airship landing, it looks like. Although those could just be regular quests I'm looking at. Yeah, those are regular quests I'm looking at. The airship landing is closest. Which would be onwards and upwards. Are you ready to depart, sir? The airship bound to Camp Cloudtop will be leaving shortly.
Upon an airship, conceived within the fecund mind of Sid Garland, renegade prodigy of Garlemald, who had come to call Eorzea home. High into the heavens, where isles of earth and stone floated as clouds, a frontier the knights of Ishgard had scarce begun to explore. To a fledgling outpost, within the sea of clouds, where careworn scouts ever scanned the skies for winged shadows, he came.
I like the whole reading from a journal or memoir thing they're doing.
Me too.
Awfully cold up here. I mean, Korthus may not be blessed with the warmest weather in the world, but compared to this, it seems positively balmy. And, of course, our hero is wholly unperturbed. You don't have to maintain that strong, silent persona all of the time. Never mind. We need to find Lady Laniette. She is in charge of this garrison here. When we find her, just follow my lead, yes? Excellent. Oh, what kind of trouble are you going to cause?
It's very laissez-faire.
Yes, he is. Ah, listen, there's stairs over here. Not only can we not fly, we are relatively slow on the mounts, too.
Yeah.
But as I understand it, every one of the zones has 15 aether currents that we have to find and attune to, and then we can fly. But some of them require completing quests to access, some of them require completing dungeons to access. So it might take a while to be able to fly up here.
Gaily cat?
Huh?
A cat and a bat mix?
Ah. Welcome. I am Sir Laliette de Halliard, commander of the forces stationed here at Camp Cloudtop. Strange though it may sound, I have long dreamed of meeting you. I am in your debt, you see, and shall ever remain so. Were it not for you, my younger brother, Francel, would have been executed upon the word of a false inquisitor. Alas, a knight must go where her duty demands, and thus I have been unable to seek you out. But by the grace of Halone, I have been granted the opportunity to thank you, my brother's savior, in person, and to call upon his generous aid beside. Truly, I know not what I have done to deserve this double blessing. Ahem. 'Tis a pleasure to see you again, my lady Laliette. You cut an elegant figure as always, a steel-clad rose, equally at home on a battlefield or in a ballroom. Lord Emmeline, if it is not too much to ask, I should be grateful if you would allow me to finish speaking. Camp Cloudtop was established to provide early warning of impending Dravanian incursions. The high elevation afforded by the floating isles makes it ideal for this purpose. Naturally, it also makes us a ready target for attack. We are not defenseless, however. The Protector, our largest and most advanced airship, is capable of downing all but the mightiest dragons. Alas, as you may have noticed, it is currently undergoing repair. What is worse, our efforts have been hampered by the indigenous beast tribe known as the Vanu Vanu, with whom we have had several skirmishes already. No beast man is a match for a man of Ishgard. Bring me a bird man and I'll show him a thing or two. I fear much and more may be asked of you in the days to come. While I understand Count Edmond's intentions, I would rather not waste valuable time ensuring that the young lord doesn't get trampled underfoot. True, it is entirely possible that he may learn something from this experience, but if left to his own devices, I think it far more likely that he will make a mess of things. Tell him that I would like him to keep watch for Dravanian outflyers. Then, when you have a moment to speak with his manservant in private, make it clear that it is his responsibility to keep Emmeline from shirking his duty. quest from Lynette? Why didn't she think to ask me in person? Surely she must see me standing here but a few yalms away. We have a quest NPC that actually noticed the quest giver standing right there.
I know. It's funny.
Oh, never mind. What is it? A mission. Yes, of course. This is why I am here. I shall do as my lady asks. I do not believe I have properly introduced myself. My name is Honoroit. I served at the pleasure of Lord Emmeline. Lady Lynette would have me accompany Lord Emmeline on his mission? Ah, I understand completely. I will do my utmost to keep him out of harm's way. Were he of another house, mayhap I would not feel obligated to go to such lengths to preserve his safety and dignity. In any case, I appreciate you speaking to him. It would seem he actually listens to you, at least more so than others. Or mayhap you are more skilled at it at this than most. I suspect you have had to humor your fair share of difficult men before. Now that Emmeline is out of harm's way, we are free to discuss matters of actual import, such as our struggles with the Vanu. We first encountered the Vanu several years ago, when we had just begun to explore the Sea of Clouds. After an exchange of pleasantries and gifts, we received permission to construct a permanent lookout post. There was peace between our peoples for half a year, until suddenly, for reasons unknown, their attitudes toward us changed. They began to attack our foraging parties without provocation, forcing us to rely more heavily on supplies flown in from Ishgard. But words are not substitute for first-hand experience. Go and see Sir Marielle. She could use your assistance. I get the feeling we need to climb up for this. Yep, I skipped the first line. I hear tell you've never faced a Vanu before. Well, spend enough time on patrol and you'll sure cross paths with them eventually. These birdmen are native to the Floating Isles. I say birdmen, but they're not at all like the Ixal. Unless that Ixal's mother was a Gigas. Here, let me mark several locations on your map. If you discover any Vanu in these areas, kill or drive them away. So, big birdmen. Owl men, more accurately, I guess. The bat makes cat noises.
Yeah.
steel yourself for a mighty struggle, yet find no Vanu lying in wait. If this were WoW, I'd be dead right now. I absolutely would have fallen off that edge. Yeah. Finished with your patrol. Anything to report? Huh. Maybe it was too much to hope for a day without a skirmish. At least I could take solace in the fact that Halone has blessed us with a mighty ally. Accepting your recent clashes with the Vanu, it cannot have escaped your notice that things here are rather peaceful, to the detriment of our garrison's discipline. Despite being built as an observation post, we have yet to record a single intrusion by the Horde. That is why, as far as everyone is concerned, Camp Cloudtop is a backwater of no significance. And of course, the pride of our camp, the vaunted Protector, is in a perpetual state of needing repairs. So even were the Holy See to come under Dravanian attack, we would be unable to fly to her aid. Simply put, this is where ambition comes to die. If you have aspirations for advancement, you'll be right at home. However, I would like to think that enthusiasm can be as contagious as apathy. If you'll indulge me, I would have you seek out the sentries and stoke their fighting spirit. Psych them up, I say. The gigantic dragon man just roared at you. React. What is it? The horde? By the fury, whatever possessed you to do that? I'm awake. Worry not. The shock you gave me, I doubt I'll sleep for a fortnight. Gods, where did that come from? Fine, if you insist, I will make an effort to be more alert. But really, I fail to see the point. We're hundreds of malms away from the front lines, which is just the way I like it, thank you very much. Is it an attack? What should we do? What should we do? You had me fooled there for a moment, old boy. An amusing jest, albeit a tad cruel. Surely you must realize how unsuited I am to the monotony of mere sentry duty. Yet still you tempt me with the promise of excitement? No, this won't do. This won't do at all. Lady Lelianette will give me a grand mission as befits my station. Well, that backfired.
Oops.
Can we go up the net?
Yes. I've been going up every time.
Alright. Many thanks. Already I could see a change in our sentry's behavior. Beg your pardon, Lord Emmeline said what? Well, I have no doubt that Lady Lalianette will do her utmost to oblige him. If Lord Emmeline is going to demand a more dangerous duty, then I expect Lilianette will want you to accompany him. You might as well speak with her as sooner rather than later. There's no use avoiding the inevitable. Alright, before we do this, well, I guess we might as well go ahead and do this, since it's just right here. I was going to say, we should probably go back to Ishgard and at least start the other quest so that we unlock the other zone. Lord Ameline has just informed me that mere sentry duty is beneath him. I understand we have you to thank for this epiphany. Well, there's nothing for it but to give him something more demanding then. Can I count on you to keep him safe? Excellent. We are in constant need of fresh water in Camp Cloudtop, as there are no underground sources we can tap for wells. However, there is a unique variety of crystal we have recently discovered, which may enable us to obtain water through other means. These spring crystals can be found in Vorsay and Siren, to the east of here. I would have you and Emmeline bring one back to us. You may have to contend with the feral beasts which populate the skies, not to mention Banu's scouts ranging from nearby settlement. Of course, that all pales in comparison to keeping the young lord entertained, but you have doubtless grown accustomed to that by now. Good luck and be safe. Lady Annette told you to tell me about my mission once again. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear she's avoiding me. Anyway, what is it? Finally, it's about time she entrusted me with a mission of real import. Right then, let's go, let's go.
Oh, you must have gone with the first one.
Yes, I did.
I went with the second.
I try to make him sound like the job we're giving him is the most important job in the world. Even if it is just a fetch quest.
Yeah, this time I said she wants you to go fetch water. And he's like, you make it sound, blah, blah, blah. Are we going after it or not? Okay.
I thought we were going back to...
Well, it's 10:32, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what, 11:30 your
Yeah,
time?
11:30 my turn. So let's head back to Ishgard and start up the other quest, just to get access to what I think is another zone. That way, if off-stream KJ wants to do some mining or something in these areas that he couldn't have gotten to before, he can.
Why be that nice? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we can go back.
Who knows, we might log on next week and find item level 200 gear sitting in our mailboxes. Well, I might. Zora might not.
Right.
No, he tends to not make gear for me.
Just grabs all this 150 stuff from all the extra poets that she's got, or whatever they're called.
What?
Yeah. Is this where we had to go? Oh, yeah.
I've saddled a black chocobo for your journey to the Western Highlands, as per Lord Aratel's instruction. Will this be your first time riding a black chocobo, may I ask? If so, you're in for a treat, as I dare say you know this particular breed can fly. Given the right conditions, they can carry you quite high, too, even over Snowcloak. You needn't worry about directing the bird, of course. Like all porters, she's trained to carry you to your destination all by herself. So just relax and enjoy the view. Oh, but be sure not to relax your grip. 2 hands on the reins at all times, if you please. Yes, a reminder, when Heavensward came out, you could fly in Heavensward. You could not fly at all in A Realm Reborn. That wasn't added until later. So this would be the first time players ever got to fly.
Oh, okay.
To the frozen wastes of the Western Highlands, once verdant tracts made pallid by the calamity. Beyond the towering wall of ice, to lands long forsaken that the knights of Ishgard strove tirelessly to reclaim. To the hamlet of Falcon's Nest, once abandoned, now freed of its pall of snow and ash, he came.
The world looks quite different when viewed from the back of an airborne chocobo, does it not? I still find the experience strangely liberating. To business. Sir Redwald is in charge here. He should be expecting us. I also note this is an odd-looking crystal. It's different than the others.
Look like the others. Yeah.
Almost manufactured.
Possibly. It's been far, far too long, Lord Artoriel. And who is your companion? Who might your companion be? Pray forgive our lateness, Sir Redwald. I present to you a ward of House Fortemps. Ah, yes, of course. Lord Drillmont spoke of you. I, Sir Redwald of House Durandare, do bid you welcome to Falcon's Nest. We are both eager to contribute to the settlement's restoration. How may we be of service? Before we speak of that, would I be correct in assuming that he is unfamiliar with our recent history? Then with your permission, I shall recount the tale for his benefit. As you may know, Falcon's Nest was once a hamlet with a small garrison of knights and some few villagers, and then came the calamity. When it became clear that the snow would not stop falling, we had no choice but to order the complete withdrawal. The settlement and the entirety of the Western Highlands were to be abandoned. Abandoned to the heretics. Lady Iceheart and her kind have walked these lands with impunity ever since. Aye, but no longer. The Holy See has commanded the reclamation of the Western Highlands and the expulsion of the heretical elements. Falcon's Nest is key to accomplishing these objectives. But, as you can see, rebuilding the hamlet will be no small undertaking. Our craftsmen require support and protection. Any assistance you can offer will be greatly appreciated. As promised, we of House Fortemps are at your disposal, Sir Redwald. You need but tell us where to begin. Several craftsmen in service to House Zamiel are contributing to the restoration of Falcon's Nest. These men and women are skilled at building and repairing fortifications, but their progress has been hampered by a number of factors. Rolf, their foreman, tells me he has need of a man with your talents. Would you be so kind as to seek him out? Yes, I'm Rolf, and who might you be? Ah, the promised help. Glad to have you aboard. I have the honor of overseeing this fine mess you see before you. Sent me over on one of them black birds, same as you, to build and mend and tell others how to build and mend. But fury take me, this ice. It's bloody unnatural how fast it forms. It's icicle sprites, I tell you. Mark my words, there's pockets of them here and there just waiting for me to turn my back so they can sneak out and do their dirty work. So I need you to search the hamlet and put an end to it. If you stand watch long enough, you're sure to find them. Over here. I walked right past it. That was probably not the best route for me to take. Everybody have credit?
Yes.
Yep. At least I don't have the red thing on the ground anymore.
Ha! Now there's a man what looks like he's found his marks. You're just the sort we need around here. Kind that'll hop to when we sees a task needs to be done. You're a dab hand at Warcraft, I can tell. Not that I've any skill at arms to speak of, mind, but it doesn't take an expert to recognize expertise. Be a waste to keep you to myself when there are others who need help the same as me. So if you're keen to keep doing what you've done, I'd ask you head north to the Pike, the bloody huge statue out in the wastes. If you've never been. Mason by the name of Theramont is out there, tending to the thing. Good man, Theramont. But I reckon he's taken too much work for one. Might be there's something you can do. Alright, I think this is probably a good time to stop the stream for today.
Okay.
Alright, guys, we're going to call it here for the night. I will be back tomorrow with more Final Fantasy V. Until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. Have a good night.